Thank you for joining in on the word of encouragement here on this Tuesday. Today, I want to challenge us to not be affected by the pressure of the philosophy of the humanism around us. I'm amazed as I look across the evangelical landscape, the evangelical churches from all the way from the weak, very contextualized churches to the stronger, more fundamental churches. I see the influence far more than it should be of the world and humanistic thinking on those churches. We could spend a lot of time talking about that. Well, we're all affected by it. Many people, of course, brought up in the public school system, and they're taught that. And then, of course, media is constantly pounding us with that kind of philosophy. And our flesh is very open to receiving that kind of thinking. And what it does, if we don't watch out, we, because of the pressure around us, make decisions of how we should live and what we think and what we say, not based on the Word of God, but based on modern opinion. And the minute we do that, we hurt our conscience. In Romans chapter 14, you have some of the issues of that day being dealt with in a different kind of perspective. But this verse still applies to what we're talking about. In verse 23, the last verse of chapter 14 of Romans, it says, "And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin." One thing that we must really be honest with ourselves about is, why do we do the things we do? We make a choice to maybe change something from what we used to do because nobody else seems to be having the same conviction that we have. Or we're intimidated about some of the thinking about social issues, and we maybe will try to hedge a little bit on what we believe because it seems so rigid as far as the humanistic mindset is concerned. There are many different applications to this. But the Bible is pretty clear here. If it isn't of faith, if you aren't walking directly in accordance with the Word of God, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what the world is saying, if you're not doing that, if you don't have that kind of faith, and if you're making decisions based upon your human thinking, it's sin. That's a pretty strong statement, but that's true. It's really been a help to me over the years. If you doubt, you're judging yourself if you partake in whatever it is that you're not certain about. And if you're not making decisions based upon faith in the Word of God, and those decisions are contradicting what you used to think was the Word of God, no matter what the situation is, the Lord considers it sin because you're going against your conscience. People lose their faith because they hurt their conscience, as 1 Timothy chapter 1 says. So I just want to encourage you, as the pressure comes, let's be more anchored in the book. That's where the encouragement will be. That's where our relationship with the Lord will be strengthened, and we will be able to avoid grieving the Lord by making the wrong decision.